What is up, RotoGrinders? Baby Slate, just a three-gamer in the association tonight. We actually have the lineups to the very first game. 7 o'clock, Toronto taking on the Cavs. And then 2 games later, Atlanta, the Jazz, Indiana, and the Suns. 3 of these 6 teams are in the back half of a back-to-back. That's Atlanta, Cleveland, Phoenix. Nobody on the front end. Nobody currently questionable on the injury reports. Everything is clean as of right now. The last one we got was Murray Boyles officially out. Sandro Mamakashvili is in for Toronto. Cleveland on the back half of a back-to-back. There's no Darius Garland still. He's dealing with a toe. Lonzo Ball can't play back-to-back games. Tyson still dealing with his concussion. Everybody was out yesterday as far as Mitchell is back. Mobley is back. Embarrassing loss for my Heat, losing to whatever is left of the Cavs. Back half of back-to-back, we have no Kristaps Porzingis. Zinger cannot play back half of back-to-back as well, so he's not playing basketball tonight. Same deal with Mark Williams, not really playing back-to-back, so he's also out. Of course, Jalen Green is out for a while there for Phoenix. Returning champion, 3-man booth, Kyle Murray. Kyle Murray with the hell of a call yesterday on how you guys are going to top it when it comes to the plums. Kyle gave you 50-burger Craig Porter. Craig Porter Jr. back on the slate today as a potential cheapie. Kyle, welcome back. How are things?
They're good, yeah. Yesterday you forced me to up my bold prediction from 30 to 35, and it was not high enough. Could have gone all the way up to 50. Yeah. But, good luck to myself topping that one, only on a 3-game slate, but we'll see what we can do.
Chopper, challenge accepted. You think you can I don't know if you heard. Yeah, Kyle called the Porter call yesterday. It's a 3-gamer tonight. Are you up for the challenge? Not just the challenge of this show, but in the back of your mind, you're going to be talking to basketball. In the back of your mind, you're going to be thinking about Thursday Night Football, Jets, Pats. You're talking with Bobby Gomes in about an hour or so. So you got to pace yourself. What's up, Chop?
Well, the microphone is giving me problems. I'm talking about Thursday Night Football. Bobby Gomes is just going to mime. He doesn't speak very much, so we got that going on for us.
I'm going to tune in for that.
No, I just, yeah. I mean, I wasn't here for the Porter call, but that sounds phenomenal. Sounds great. So there's no way I'm topping that. So I might as well just retire now.
Do you want to say hello to the chat? Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. If you guys are asking questions, try and save the questions for the end. You'll figure out when the end is coming up. It's, we talk about centers, and then we're going to get some questions. I'm going to prioritize questions in the Discord channel, just like Kevin Roth does. RotoGrinders.com / it's the live stream chat channel in the Discord channel. Some of the Discord channels are free. Of course, this will be a free channel. So go ahead and load up your questions in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com / Discord, live stream chat channel. That's what I will prioritize. If there are questions in YouTube, I will ask those afterwards, assuming we have time. And I'm just going to pull a Roth. I'm playing the role of Kevin Roth, and I'm going to be asking you guys to go position by position, starting with FanDuel. Kyle, point guard. But have you noticed this? Unless you have any overarching thoughts on this slate, by all means, fire them off. The other thing that's interesting as far as position by position stuff, have you noticed that DK, their position versatility is kind of lacking this year? They're just kind of sticking guys in spots, and that's that. And FanDuel's give you more versatility. So just, I guess, of note. It used to be kind of a pick 'em on DK, where like some guys would have 2 or 3. Basically, they're available anywhere sometimes. But yeah, general thoughts as far as a slate, Kyle, or do you want to just get right down to it and talk about your favorite point guard specific to FanDuel?
Yeah, I think like the one slate note that I would have is with ownership in this first game, and with it being a 3-game slate, there could be some spots where you can actually get some more exaggerated late swap stuff. So keep that in mind if you have any chalk that fails, or if you have any low owned guys that go off in these this first game. You can maybe do some things to change your lineup up a bit in these last 2 games at lock at 9s. That's the one thing I would say. I know late swap's always important in the NBA, but I feel like it's you can get a little bit more outside the box with it on a 3-game slate, especially one with 2 pretty clear slate start times. For point guard, I mean, Craig Porter does project well again. I don't think you can really come close to expecting anything similar to last night. You can, even if it was the same situation, same team, everything, it probably doesn't get there the way he did. But obviously, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley will be back for this one. I do think he projects as a strong value, though, at the point guard position. Dyson Daniels at 7.3 and Keontae George, both the same price at 7.3. Both of those guys grade out pretty well for me. And then you do have Devin Booker, who's like you mentioned, only point guard. You used to have point guard and shooting guard eligibility, but now down to just point guard. Those are probably my top guys at the position there. In terms of some contrarian plays, Quickly and Nemhard, they stick out to me. But that's pretty much it. It's a pretty thin group. I do think using Craig Porter to save some salary does make some sense, although he probably will be more popular than models are projecting right now. I'd have to refresh here to see what the most recent number is in lineup HQ, but assuming
people are,
assuming people are gonna see what he did last night, they're probably gonna be more active in getting him in lineup. So it could be a leverage spot, but for what it's worth, he does project at least to be the best value at the point guard position.
Yeah, and you were talking about DraftKings, to be clear, right? Because you're talking about Booker being point guard only. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I thought I said FanDuel to start with FanDuel, but it's fine. We'll start with DraftKings. It doesn't matter. Either way, we'll knock them both out. But that was DK, correct?
Yeah, that's on me.
Okay. Chopper, your thoughts? We're gonna talk DraftKings first, and then we'll kind of circle back and talk FanDuel.
What?
And
I thought you said we're doing FanDuel first.
I did, but Kyle,
hand up top. That one's on me. I'll take blame for that
one. I did say that, but you got to be, you got to be versatile. You got to be willing to change here on the fly, Chop. What gave it away to me is he said Booker is a point guard and point guard only. So, okay, so we were talking DraftKings, and again, we'll circle back. We'll talk FanDuel, and there's a lot of overlap. There's tons of overlap. And I have a question I'll save for you guys afterwards because I don't think my player was mentioned just yet. I just have a thought for this slate. But Chop, your favorite DK specific point guards are who?
Well, I didn't really break it down between DraftKings and FanDuel. They're all kind of the same to me. But I'll look at DraftKings and make sure they're all point guards over there. But I think that if salary didn't matter to you, you had all this stuff left over, and obviously Craig Porter's there, so maybe salary doesn't matter tonight. But Devin Booker's always a good play. Like he's the alpha over there in Phoenix now, so that's fine. I'm rostering Dyson Daniels tonight. He was the last man in on my lineup. I don't mind him against Utah. Obviously, a lot of Atlanta players we're going to talk about, and they're going to jump out. Some a lot more than him. Nimhart was last man off of my roster tonight. I think he's fine play, and talk about his teammate in a minute, Neesmith. But those two guys look almost identical tonight. So, and I rostered Neesmith, so I think Nimhart's fine if you want to go that route. And Craig Porter Jr. sitting down there. He's the cheapest guy that I would consider rostering at this position tonight, and I think he's a fine play. And I don't. I'm certainly not expecting 50. I'm not even expecting 30. Yeah, I'm not even expecting 30. But if he just pays off that salary, I'll be happy with him tonight because he gets you some other players in there. So those are the main guys I'm looking at, and there's other guys that we didn't mention, but I just can't find room for them on my roster tonight.
Yeah, it's important to note that Donovan Mitchell wasn't there last night. Mobley wasn't there, so there's a lot of shots. Porter should be fine, right? But the opportunity was greater last night as well. So here's my question. I'll throw it to Kyle. It's a 3-game slate. I'm looking to be a little bit different, right? Trying to find somebody that's a little bit of a swerve. I'm also trying to find somebody that you don't really know what to expect. We lean into the goofiness, lean into the unknown. How crazy is it? This is more of a large field thing, Kyle, in my opinion, or a no field, depending on what you say. But, Timothy John, TJ McConnell, he came back and he played 11, 12 minutes, only the first half. That was the plan. Rick Carlisle said that was the plan. He's only going to play, they were getting blown out, but the plan was for him only to play 12 minutes. He took 12 shots in 12 minutes. He's super active when he's out there. He can also compile, assists. He's a good steals guy as well. There's a chance he gets ramped up to 18, 19. I don't think he gets to 20, but he can get there. We've seen him get there in 17, 18, 19 minutes. And again, he doesn't have to beat a lot of people. It's a 3-game slate. I think we're projecting 15 or 16 minutes. That might have been you, which that seems fair. I think that seems fair, but I think he gained a couple more. I'm curious what your thoughts are as far as putting that number on him. Do you think there's a chance he plays more? Not likely, but that we're thinking median. You're putting a median number up there, but McConnell, is he goofy enough? Nobody's playing him, is my point, and he's got a chance at least, even in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good call. We started with him at 15 minutes, and then I bumped him up to 16.
Ooh.
So I think his like ceiling is probably 18 to 20. I don't think they're going to push him too much, but he's a really good permanent player. He always has been. We saw a big part of Porter getting there last night was the stocks, and we know McConnell can rack up 4, 5, 6 steals in a limited amount of time. So yeah, I think it's actually a really good call, especially with the ownership, and people aren't gonna be dying to roster a guy who's projecting for 15 to 17 minutes on average. But if you gave McConnell 16 minutes and you gave Craig Porter 21 minutes, let's say he doesn't quite get to that 22 we haven't projected, would not be surprising at all to see McConnell outscore Porter. He is $1,400 cheaper on DraftKings, but yeah, McConnell can certainly get there, and especially on this small of a slate where even if he goes out there and only has 15 points, you certainly can not count yourself out of lineups or contests with that. So yeah, I like that call.
I'll put him in one lineup. I think there's a decent chance. He's got a pretty decent chance to beat Porter, who's projected higher, but
yeah,
there's some fragility on both those numbers. Okay, shooting guard, Kyle, what do you got? DK.
Yeah, I'll try to get the site right this time and not flip flop. NAW is someone who I like quite a bit here. He's looked really good with no Trae Young. He's kind of doing it all right. He's able to fill up the stat sheet. He's also been scoring really well as well. I project him for 16 points alone. So if he can get a nice peripheral stat game as well, can certainly get there at that $6K price tag. Grayson Allen coming off of his certainly his best career game a couple games ago, but yeah, he's probably not going to top that ever in his entire career. 6'8", the price is, it's pretty much at the peak of where you're kind of hoping to play Grayson Allen, but on a 3-game slate, I do think he's at least in play. Donovan Mitchell looks really good here. Assist rate's going to be higher with no Darius Garland and no Lonzo Ball. Mitchell is one of those superstars that can always sort of fade into the black, right? Where not have like these massive volume games where he's shooting the ball 25, 30 times. So he's capable of that, which is not ideal, but his ceiling is certainly up there with everybody on this slate, that's for sure. So those are probably my top 3 guys. Some, I guess, more contrarian guys. RJ Barrett, haven't loved his rates with this new look Toronto team with Ingram there, but nonetheless, he's still a guy who can, go out there and get 5 or 6 rebounds and 5 or 6 assists, as well as score 20 points any night. So RJ Barrett, I don't mind at 7-1. I'd probably prefer to play him than Grayson Allen, especially at ownership. Sam Merrill, I think, still in play at 5K. Had a little bit of a down game last night when people were on him. He is still starting tonight, so I think you can still go back to him. Tough to project a ton of usage there with Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley back, but nonetheless, I think he'll be more of a low-owned option there. And then a cheap name that I'll throw out as maybe like an interesting value option is Jordan Goodwin here. I like him quite a bit in this spot, actually, as a tournament play. I think he's kind of in that TJ McConnell role where he's probably not going to play a ton of minutes, although the Pacers have been really bad, and they've been really bad against the spread as well. So I would not be surprised to see the Suns kind of run away with this one and be one of those ugly games. And if that's the case, when we see Goodwin pick up a few extra minutes, he could really benefit there. So I'll throw out Jordan Goodwin at 3.5 on DraftKings as a sneaky value play.
Kyle, in the vacuum, you want Booker or Mitchell?
I'm probably slightly taking Booker.
Chop, but Booker or Mitchell, your thoughts at shooting guard on DK?
I want Booker. I want Booker over Mitchell tonight, even though he's kind of close. But I hate to disagree with Kyle because he's just totally like on the money here. I kind of think Indiana keeps this thing a lot closer with Phoenix, which would help Booker and Allen and these guys. Whereas I actually think Cleveland might be the one that starts to run it up on Toronto, and Mitchell doesn't see as much playing time as Booker. But I don't know. I'd take Booker in a vacuum right there. But shooting guard, Mitchell is awesome. Grayson Allen is I don't expect the career game again, but he's been rock solid all year long. It's not a fluke.
Great.
It's kind of what they've made of themselves in Phoenix right now, at least until Jalen Green gets healthy, which is going to be another month and a half, 2 months. So expect a lot of Grayson Allen. I'm skipping over some of these guys. While you guys were talking, I kind of got sold on something, so I took Craig Porter out of my lineup, and I put Luke Kennard in there. So I'm rocking some Luke Kennard tonight. I don't mind that one. And some of those middle players I don't want. And then you go down to Goodwin. I think Kyle hit it on the head with Goodwin. He's as cheap as I would go in this category, and I think he's a fine play tonight.
All right, let's knock out small forward, Kyle.
Yeah, Royce O'Neal is someone that projects okay for me. I do have some concerns about his potential ceiling in this spot here, especially if, we're talking having Booker and Grayson Allen and Jordan Goodwin all in our player pools, but O'Neal does project at least pretty well for me. Neesmith, I think, would probably be the pivot if you are building a Phoenix heavy lineup and you want to get off of Royce O'Neal. Neesmith at 6'1", again, kind of a guy who doesn't have like a super exciting ceiling, but we should expect him to play 32 plus minutes in games that don't blow out pretty easily. The guy I'm most intrigued by is Ace Bailey here at 4-8, matchup against Atlanta. This game should be a pretty fast-paced game with, two teams that kind of end up sprinting back and forth quite a bit. Utah's been playing slow so far this year, but I do think that with getting both their guards back and adding some youth to this starting lineup, I think will kind of speed them up a bit as the season goes on. 2.5 point spread. So we haven't really seen Bailey play a ton of minutes yet this season. He was coming off the bench for a while. Since he's moved into the starting lineup, 25, 27, 24 minutes. I think he has upside to play 30 plus minutes. I do think that they're going to be cautious with him, but 27 to 28 minute projection for him here. He scored 20 actual points last game. So I do like Ace Bailey quite a bit at 4-8. And then a couple other spend up or mid-tier options, I suppose, Ingram and Ricochet here. Ricochet, we haven't really seen the consistent production from him, but we know that when he gets hot, he is not afraid to shoot it. He is going to be pretty scoring dependent, but if you're building lineups and you are maybe low on Dyson Daniels or Alexander Walker or some of these Atlanta bigs, it might make sense to get to a guy like Ricochet who fits into lineups at 5-1 pretty easily, but definitely not a primary target of mine. I guess my favorite small forward would be probably Ace Bailey tonight.
Chop, DK, small forward?
Yeah, I mean, Kyle covered most of it. I would just reiterate Neesmith. I like Neesmith tonight. Royce O'Neal's chalky, but I'm fine with Royce O'Neal. Ace Bailey, I do like the Ace Bailey call. Like him quite a bit. Kennard, I just mentioned. I'm be on Kennard. He's pretty cheap over here on DK. And I mean, I'm not really into Ingram tonight, but I don't besmirch anybody who wants to do that. Grayson Allen's a small forward eligible too. I hate to mention this guy, man, but you have to. Dylan Brooks. I mean, you never know. When he gets high with his 3-point shooting, he can actually do pretty well on it. Like he can carry you on a 3-game slate, but you are depending on him getting hot with the 3-point shot. But it could happen. So yeah, that's small forward.
Chop, I'm going to have you set the table. I'm realizing as you kind of bouncing back and forth as far as who sets the table. You're setting the table as far as power forward. We're seeing a really, really popular Jalen Johnson, one of the better big spends. That's the other overarching thing in this slate. There's like no great big spend. There's no Giannis. There's no Joker. There's no Wemby. I don't think anybody's projected for 50 fantasy points as a median projection, but Jalen Johnson, one of the more popular plays. Also, Atlanta and Phoenix, not just back-to-back, but third game in 4 nights as well. Just want to throw that out there. Chopper, power forward, what do you got?
Yeah, Jalen Johnson's clearly that's my favorite player of the slate. It's a lot of people's favorite player. He's an awesome play tonight. He's got that. And he's so good when he's healthy. So I like Jalen Johnson quite a bit. First guy in my lineup, no doubt about it. Mobley could always do the thing where, he crushes a slate, especially a 3-gamer. It's Toronto, and he can get to them. I like Siakam as like it's hard to say contrarian, because everybody who has any sort of decent projection is going to have some pretty decent ownership. It's only a 3-game slate, but he is kind of contrarian on DraftKings at least. So
we got him in single digits.
Yeah. I mean, for a 3-gamer, man, a guy with his upside, even his floor against Phoenix, they've put up some solid defensive numbers this year, but I'm just not sure that, that's who they really are. So I'm going to keep going back to the well there. I think Siakam's fine. Markkanen has good upside. Barnes is good. We already talked about some of these other guys. And then the one I would say is going to end up in a lot of optimals and probably going to get a fair bit of ownership is Muhammad Gay. Is it Gay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I don't want nobody getting mad at me now. That's his name. It's Muhammad Gay. The only thing I would say is, I don't know how the roster build works there with just jamming him in with Jalen Johnson and Okongwu, because I think that's just it's a good projection. It's fine. That's where you got to project him at tonight. but I just don't think all three of those guys. I wouldn't have all three of them in the same lineup, is what I'm saying. Even though a lot of optimals are going to tell you, like, all three of them belong in there, but I don't think they do all belong in there together. So he's the one I'm cautioned against.
I was curious how much him and Okongwu play together, and they played 153 minutes together this season, so that they will cross over a lot. He's actually, 153 minutes together in 12 games. I was thinking the same thing, though. I was thinking Gay was an interesting pivot away from Okongwu, who we'll talk about in a second. He's one of the more popular plays on the slate, but I'm curious, Kyle, can you get optimal games out of both those guys? The counter is they're both underpriced with Porzingis out, so they don't, they both can get there, I think. Your thoughts, power forward.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with the starting lineup, but Atlanta's pretty unique where they can do a lot of things. They can start Johnson at the 4 and then start Okongwu at the 5. They could start Johnson at the 3 and start Gay and Okongwu and Jalen Johnson. So because, Gay is 6'10", but he's also more of a stretch 4 than anything, especially for this team and the way he plays. But I think they can all get there for sure. I think power forward and center are kind of a lot of these guys come together where, if you do play Okongwu or, Gay and Johnson, you probably can make a case for saying, okay, let's play 2 of those 3 and look for ways to get different at that other position. So for me, Jalen Johnson projects great, but if you don't want to prioritize him, you have Evan Mobley, Pascal Siakam, who is much more expensive than these guys, but Lauri Markkanen and Scotty Barnes. So you have 3 guys who can all easily outscore Jalen Johnson any night, and then maybe get some, take away from that anti-correlation play of these Atlanta trio of bigs there. So for me, I do like Jalen Johnson, but I like Lauri Markkanen the most at this power forward position. You can make the same case about Evan Mobley, but Markkanen has such a high usage rate so far this season. Again, he does kind of need to have that big scoring game to really pop off for DFS, but I think you can easily start with Markkanen and then play both Gay and Okongwu and build a really strong lineup that way. But if you do start with Jalen Johnson, I think that's totally fine. I think you can still play all 3 of those guys, but you have a couple of value guys at the center and power forward position as well. Kyle Filipowski is a guy that I like a lot. So if you're not playing somebody like Gay or you're not playing Okongwu, Filipowski's sitting here at 4.6, power forward and center eligibility. He only played 20 minutes last game, but I think he has upside for more. I think he could be playing, 22 to 24 minutes. If Nurkic gets in foul trouble, could see him even play more here. And even in that game last time out where he only played 20 minutes, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, always been a really good permanent producer. This guy was fantastic down the stretch last year on a permanent basis. So he's going to be one of my favorite plays, especially if you're looking for some leverage off of a guy like Mohamed Gay, especially if we get news that he's not starting and then maybe people are, sort of still playing him at this, really high rate, but he's only going to play like 20 to 21 minutes. If Filipowski's going to play the same amount of time, he could easily outscore him. So Filipowski currently one of my favorite plays on the board.
And to your point earlier, talking about playing the results of game 1, if your players do bad in game 1 and you have somebody like Gay in there and you think Gay's going to get more ownership than Filipowski, that's an easy flip. You want to play a little catch up. And if you're ahead, you can, obviously pivot to the chalk if you want to do that as well. But okay. By the way, if you want to prioritize your questions, get your questions in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. We will get the questions once we finish going position by position. Kyle, centers.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, a lot of these guys do sort of intertwine with Okongwu here at 6'2". You can easily pivot off of him and go to a guy like Nurkic or Jared Allen, or even spin down a little bit and go Jakob Poeltl and then feel better about playing Mohamed Gay and Jalen Johnson. So again, I think for me, I'm probably only playing 2 of those 3 Atlanta bigs that we talked about just because there's so many good pivots, and I do think that they at least hurt each other a little bit. So Okongwu, he projects as the best player on the board for me from a price and ownership perspective, but all things considered, there are some good pivots. My favorites would probably be Jakob Poeltl here at 5'5". He played 28 minutes last game. Colin Murray-Boyles, who's been backing him up. Sorry, he played 29 minutes last game. Murray-Boyles, who's been backing up, is out. So I think that there's a chance that we see Jakob Poeltl play 30 minutes for the first time this season. And if you want to even go further down the board, you have Filipowski down there. We also have Sandro Mamushkavelli. Oh, I think I got that one right.
Chop, was that correct?
Yeah, that's it. Mamushkavelli.
Nailed it. Yeah. So if you want to play him as well at 4K, he's probably going to play all of the non-Jakob Poeltl minutes, and we might even see them overlap a bit. So yeah, I think he's also in play as a value option. And then worth noting, keep an eye out on that Pacers starting lineup. They've been doing a bunch of nonsense with their starting center. We've seen Tony Bradley start the past couple of games and not even played 20 minutes. He's played 19 and a half and then 16 minutes. So if he's finally out of the starting lineup and we see a guy like Isaiah Jackson start, or maybe Jeremiah Robinson Earl stay in the starting lineup, those guys are also in play, but the starting lineups can be very important for the Pacers.
Yeah, they put in JRE and Tony Bradley and then gave up 150 points to the Jazz. So I don't know. Maybe that's not the answer, but they have no answer. Right? And this is probably going to be a fluid situation. And if they start Isaiah Jackson, he's just going to foul twice in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Indiana center is certainly an interesting conundrum. Did anybody mention, or anybody, Kyle, did you have thoughts? Or maybe I can ask Chop. We're expecting Oso to start for Phoenix, but Richards is the better fantasy play. Is Richards somebody that either one of you guys are considering as a cheapie at center?
Depends on who starts for me. Yeah. Whoever starts will probably look pretty good.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Richards still got off the bench, can play 20 minutes, maybe. I was thinking about it, but okay. It doesn't sound like you're into it. That's fine. I'm not going to force it.
Yeah. The more I look at it, this game might just go small, honestly, because, I mean, neither team wants to play any of these centers. So there might be a handshake agreement saying, hey, let's just play no centers and just call it a day.
Like Royce O'Neal at the 5, essentially, and Pascal at the 5?
Yeah. We could easily see some minutes like that. I would not be surprised.
Chop centers, what do you got?
Kanu's awesome. Nurkic is fine. Jared Allen, I do like Jared Allen quite a bit tonight. So Jared Allen's in the mix. I mean, the same old thing. Just what you mentioned, the Phoenix centers, whoever ends up starting, I think is a good value play. But I wouldn't play either one of them. I'm not playing either one of them. But I guess they'll be fine in some lineups, whatever. I guess the one guy I would cover that is Jakob Poeltl. I think this is a good matchup for him to get some minutes here and get some time on the court. And yeah, I like Jakob Poeltl quite a bit. I think I don't know. Good track record versus Cleveland's bigs in the past. So I'm down with that if you want to go off the radar.
He's still dealing with that back, apparently. He's not fully recovered, but he's dealing with it. But, like, you're going to need his size. You're going to need his girth against those Cleveland bigs. So
he's 40. He's always dealing with the back.
No way.
How old? No, he's not 40.
No way, man.
He's got to be close. I'll say 35.
I'd say 28. But no,
I'm gonna price his right Chop and say 29. Although I think he's like 30, 31.
He's 30.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I want to go quickly. I want to save as much time for questions as possible with the people. So, Kyle, if you can just tell me, I mean, is there any distinct difference, any big difference on FanDuel? I know I promised to go FanDuel as well, but it's a ton of overlap. You guys kind of covered it when you're talking about both, position by position. Is there anything on FanDuel that you think is glaring? Any position that like distinctly different that you like a player over there more so than on DK? Is there something that kind of stands out for you that way?
The only real difference is the power forward and centers, because you can play 3 centers on DraftKings, but on FanDuel tonight, half these guys also have power forward eligibility. The only guys that don't are Nurkic, Poeltl, Mamu, Isaiah Jackson, and then whoever starts if Nick Richards starts. But so there's really not that much of a difference because you still can play 3 centers on FanDuel too. So not much of a difference for me.
I did see a question in chat. I'm keeping an eye on chat from Infinite that says JRE or Isaiah Jackson cash center on FanDuel. The answer is neither. You're not playing either one of those guys in cash on FanDuel. I mean, I'm just a host, but I'm assuming you guys would agree. You're playing either Nurkic at center or you're playing Okongwu there. You're probably more likely playing Okongwu at power forward.
Yeah,
Mobley, one of those 3. Okongwu, Nurkic, or Mobley would be your cash game center. Rebuild, because something that ain't right. JRE and Isaiah Jackson, Kyle, I assume you would agree, very much more of a tournament play than a cash game play tonight in FanDuel.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Chop, you said you didn't really kind of break down FanDuel and DK necessarily. Is there something you have to add? Or?
No, I don't. I would say have to have, but the only things that really stood out to me was Craig Porter Jr. probably unplayable on FanDuel. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Doesn't see he's a bit pricier on FanDuel. Wouldn't want that.
14.
And the guy who stands out to me is underpriced compared to DraftKings is the aforementioned Jakob Poeltl, who's only 5,400 on FanDuel, 5,500 on DraftKings. I think that's a pretty good price for him.
47-year-old Jakob Poeltl. All right, you can fire him up if you'd like. I do see some questions coming on through in the Discord channel. Do also want to mention shot quality. We're giving away shot quality. It's the most predictive data in basketball, breaking down every shot to show you what should have gone in, not just what actually did go in. Right now, you can get a free 3-day trial just by heading to the link in the show description there on the YouTube. Hit that like button while you're checking out that link. Also, it will renew, so be aware of that. It will renew monthly for $39.99. If you do not cancel, do not play blind. Play smarter with shot quality. Also, if you're looking to get into NFL DFS, and sure, why not? And you're probably sticking around less than an hour. You got Bobby Gomes, all his analysis, as well as Head Chopper talking about the Pats and the Jets Thursday Night Football. Why not get more bang for your buck with Combo Pro? The Combo Pro deal for a limited time. You can get your first month of Combo Pro, $79.99, which is only $5 more than NFL DFS monthly sub a la carte. Of course, in addition to that, you get not just the football, the college football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, PGA, WNBA, LOL, and there's a couple of things I'm sure I missed there. UFC, how about that? All right, I will see some questions in YouTube as well, but I do want to prioritize the Discord first. Shop. D-Rock wants to know, for DK tournaments, pick one of these three, Barrett, Quickly, or Nemhard.
Oh, God. Barrett.
All right, and I'm scrolling on over to the FanDuel as well. Let's see. I'm just trying to splice to the questions and the comments and all that stuff, talking about Filipowski. It's kind of, this is why we want the questions in the Discord, because it's much easier to kind of have them separated. Okay, so Kyle Olu wants to know, Bailey or Ricochet. Who do you prefer amongst those two?
Bailey.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Okay, so Tony Bradley. No, I don't. And Infinite now wants to play Tony Bradley at center for cash on FanDuel. No. You can't do that. I cannot approve of that message. Like enough with the Indiana bigs in cash. You can't trust those guys. If you want to cycle through them in tournaments, sure, whatever. Kyle, I assume there's no chance we're considering Tony Bradley for cash on FanDuel.
No, just play Nurkic. Or if you like Poeltl, you can play him, but Nurkic projects the best, and he's only 5'6" on FanDuel.
All right. I am not seeing a lot of questions. I thought we'd get a lot more questions. I kind of rushed through the FanDuel stuff, and now, unless I missed some, but if I didn't answer your question, by all means, or ask your question, by all means, ask your question again. Chop, is there you said, I think you're only making one lineup tonight. Who's the player that you wanted to play, that you're, for whatever reason, just does not make your lineup, that you're most bummed about, that you're most nervous about fading? Who's that player?
Oh, man. Good one, Dean. Good one.
It's almost like I took that question from the expert survey.
Well, I mean, I tell you, I think I made a last-minute switch to take Dyson Daniels out.
Oh.
So I'm thinking that maybe that's the one that kind of scares me the most right now, that could go off, that I don't have.
Was that a 2v2? Why'd you kick out Dyson Daniels?
Because he fit with Craig Porter Jr., and I don't want Craig Porter Jr. no more after hearing you guys talk. You weren't as glowing about him as I would have liked, so I kicked him out. So I had to make some more salary. So Daniel's got to go, and he's, that's a slate breaker type of guy.
Feels a little chasey. I mean, he's not going to get 7 stocks tonight.
Who, Porter?
The opportunities less, obviously, as well.
Yeah, I don't have no problems with fading Porter, but it's the Daniels is what's scaring me about that.
Marcus wants to know, Kyle, about Isaiah Collier there for Utah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad. He's tough to get to, because I think I prefer McConnell. I think I prefer even Colin Gillespie, who I didn't touch on, but I think Collier is better on FanDuel at 4-4, where Porter's a little bit more expensive, so maybe he comes into play a bit more. But similar to McConnell, Collier is probably a guy who's going to start getting more minutes here. He played 26 minutes last game, had a double-double. So I think that's a pretty good call. I think it's just maybe a little bit tougher to do consistently on DraftKings, but I do like him more on FanDuel.
About 7 minutes to lock. Jaime Padilla, Chop. Jaime wants to know 2v2. Allen and Na, that's Alexander Walker, Grayson Allen, or Booker and Goodwin. A big spend and a little spend.
Man, good question. I'd probably go Booker and Goodwin because out of all 4 guys, Booker has like the best 60-point type upside, and you can't survive a 3-game slate if a guy goes off like that and you don't have him.
Chop, is the West Coast the best coast?
Oh, heck no, man.
What? Well, you're in the middle, so you don't really have
on the third coast. Yep.
On the South Coast.
The third coast.
Was that your answer? South Coast?
Third coast.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's literally called the third coast. I mean, out in the West, it's too late, man. They got the games don't kick off till 9 p.m. for their local teams. But of course, it's not 9 p.m. there.
It's not 9 o'clock when the game's kicking.
It's not 9 o'clock there, but like here where I'm at. So my body clock would always be on Texas time. And then you go over there and the games start too early in New York and Florida and out there in the East Coast. I like Central. I like Texas. Look at this right here.
College football starts at 9 o'clock in the morning.
In Vegas, that's terrible. It is.
I lived in Vegas, and that was tough to get used to. Okay. Slightly anonymous. This is for Kyle DK Cash. Ingram or Grayson Allen? What a weird question. I can't believe that's a question, but it is a question. I understand why.
Are they that close in price? I guess 900. I mean, I'm taking Ingram.
I think it's Ingram too, but you probably can do something with that money, right?
Yeah. You could probably spend down a little bit with Grayson Allen, upgrade elsewhere. But if you're asking me to pick between those two, I'm taking Ingram.
Oh, do we have plums? You guys got plums, right? You have plums? The Chop, give the people a plums play.
Sure. Plums play, Dean. You ready? You ready for it?
Yeah, what do you
got? 4 minutes left. So I'm just kind of going down my lineup, and I'm gonna pick one of the guys who are not as owned, who I think has upside too. So I'm threading a needle here on this pick. I'm going to say Jared Allen tonight. Jared Allen, I think, has upside, floor, and is not getting as much ownership as some of the other guys out there tonight. It's a small slate.
see it, raise it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You did, though.
Well, I'm scooting along because there's more questions coming in. We're closing in, but my apologies. I didn't even give you the walk-off music on the Oscar stage. Kyle Plums.
I'm going with my namesake, Kyle Filipowski.
There it is. Chop, Cisco wants to know, can you play Allen? You talk about Allen, so this is a good question for you. How about a run back for a 97-year-old Jakob Poeltl? Does that work for you?
Yeah, why not? Allen is playable regardless right at this point right now. Allen is perfectly fine play any way you want to cut it. And Poeltl's a decent run back, so yeah.
Kyle, Yo Mama wants to know, any love for Jackson at center tonight? Well, I mean, I'm just reading the questions, man. For Indiana, if he starts. I would just say that I think he's the best upside play amongst the Indiana big nonsense. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, if he starts. I mean, we haven't projected, I think, at like 18 or 19 minutes right now. If he starts, he's probably going to project for like 21 or 22 with 24-minute upside. But there's just a lot of – I would still prefer Filipowski. I would probably still prefer Mohamed Gay. So I think he would be better if he starts, but not necessarily jamming him in.
Chop, Mr. Relevant wants to know, large field DK tournament, can I play both Suns centers so I can get all the big guns I want? I don't think so. Oso and Richards both getting there?
Man, no. I wouldn't do that. Kind of defeats the purpose of large field GPP because I think you're almost guaranteeing yourself a real dead spot on that team, if not two of them.
Oso's a really bad fantasy point minute player. I don't. And we were talking about the game possibly going smaller as well. It's no guarantee they're going to chop up 48 minutes. And Kyle, are we even projecting 48 in total? I don't think we are, right? I don't think so.
Probably not, because they also have that rookie Kaman Maluach behind him. So I'm sure he'll pick up some development minutes while they can. So yeah, I wouldn't be counting on 48 minutes between those two.
Okay, we are closing in on lock. Couple more questions here from the Discord channel. Chop. Bailey, Ricochet, DK tournaments. Who do you got? That's his D pike.
Oh, Bailey.
D-Rock wants to know DK tournaments. They want to play the Phoenix Centers. Richards or Oso, you're going to pick one, Kyle, or you're just going to say default to the starter? I think Richards has more upside, I think. But you tell me.
I mean, I think it's Richards either way. I think even if Oso starts, and you're probably not going to see any more than like a 3 or 4 minute disparity there between the minutes. And either way, like right now, I'm projecting these guys like 6 minutes apart and have Richards projecting better. So either way, it's Richards for me. And I only really like him if he's starting.
Chop, give us a tease. What are we anticipating? What are we expecting to see on the show coming up? Football, Jets, Pats. Is this going to be a terrible game? It's going to be a terrible game, right? I shouldn't watch this.
The Patriots are really good, and the Jets, props to them for winning last week, but they stink. So I think it'll probably be a blowout. So yeah, I don't.
It's going to be better than the Eagles Packers.
Well, the bar is so.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Well, somebody scored in the first half is basically, and then it's better than Eagles Packers. The Jets benefited from 2 defensive touchdowns as well. But all right, that is the show, boys. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Hit that like button, do subscribe, do turn on those notifications. Do not go anywhere. Well, you can go somewhere. You get a snack, but at about half hour, you got Bobby Gums as well as Chop talking about fantastic football. Fantastic football. You got the Jets, the Patriots. On behalf of producer Steve, Kyle, Chop, I was Dean. We're out of here.